Dance. Pwede ka naka-share screen, Dance. Thank you. So, good morning everyone. For the continuation of our report, we will now talk about art and psychological well-being. Aesthetic experience is how we feel about when we look at things that are beautiful and how make us happy. Such pleasure isn't based on how useful the objects are, but on how beautiful they are in our own eyes or kung paano ta na-appreciate ang iya nga beauty. Additionally, an aesthetic experience can be caused by looking at artifacts that have been made by humans, such as artworks, sculpture, and other visual arts, or by looking at beautiful natural things like sunsets, oceans, and mountain views. Amo na nga damo ang gakadto sa museums, galleries, and churches because didto sila makakita sang artworks na human-made nga art products nga makapakam sang ila mind kag makapadula sang ila stress. Next slide, please. Okay. So, aesthetic experiences can be found in a variety of places. First, sa art in museum. Many studies show that art museums can be good places for therapy. These benefits include better memory, less stress, and better social engagement. Moreover, museums and galleries, unlike bala sa hospitals and clinics, are non-stigmatizing setting for treatment. Art, the art setting encourages self-reflection and group communication, facilitating the therapeutic process and thus making them ideal locations for health interventions. Art and education, di ba subong mahambal ta nga ang art-based interventions in professional education amo na ang naga-shape sang aton nga current teaching practice. Di ba even before sang pandemic may ara na tadaan nga sa classroom sang role playing, dramatization, and mga visual art presentation like art making. And this art-based pedagogy is all about using some art form like theater or visual art painting nga ginalink with other subjects to help students learn better. Lain ang impact sang art nga ginatudlo ang nga ginatun-an or ginabasa ta lang. Lain man ang impact sang art kung kita na mismo ang naga-create or naga-perform kay mas mabalaan ta ang iya nga value and mas ma-appreciate ta pagid ang beauty sang art. So amo na gani, people learn by making art, responding to art or performing art, not by studying lang gid ang art. Naga-learn kita kay because may involvement kita mismo. So next slide please. Next slide. Okay, thank you. Linking the brain to aesthetic experience. So, na gani ang hambal ko kagina nga, the aesthetic value of art and how it is used in educational programs can change people's mental and physical states, which can make them happier and help them learn more if positive ang pag-process ng audience ng art product. From a psychological point of view, it has been suggested that the cognitive processing of art produces effective and often positive and pleasing aesthetic experiences. Kumbaga, how we understand art, especially if positive aton reactions, can make us feel happy and enjoy it more. Amo na kung once we enjoy it, we have these positive feelings or reactions nga naga-affect man sa aton nga mood, which is good sa aton health and learning. However, if ang artwork is like do hindi nami para sa audience, ang matabo is less man ang magiging emotional impact niya sa audience. Pero amo na gani, ang art is not a sign. So ang audience may lain-lain nga reactions kay may ila nga lain-lain nga perspectives. Next slide please. So what is art therapy? According to American Art Therapy Association, art therapy is a kind of therapy that integrates mental health and human services by using active art making, creative process, applied psychological theory, and human experience. One of the main goals of art therapy is to improve people's well-being. It can help improve or bring back an individual's functioning. Art therapy takes place in educational, medical, and rehabilitation settings, as well as in private practices and mental health clinics. Next slide, please. So the aim or purpose of art therapy. The process of art therapy might involve the art therapist encouraging them or the individuals to share and explore an emotional difficulty through the creation of images and discussion. Through art therapy, we can explore and develop new ways of expressing our problems or unexpressed feelings. And di ba mahambal kita art therapy kung hindi ka familiar sa field ng psychology, maisip mo gid dayon na paano na lang ang finished product sa mga hindi gid artist, maintindihan man na ayhan. And yes, unlike sa educational purposes nga panami-nami sang artworks or sang products, sa art therapy mas ginafokusan ang symbolic expression or feeling and human experience through the medium of art. Next slide, please. So here are some examples lang gid sa art therapy activities. The first one is the Unmasked Expressive Art Therapy Directive. It is specifically designed for individuals suffering from eating disorders or body image conflicts. This mask making activity helps individuals to identify their suppressed feelings, thoughts, and emotions, and nag-allow man sa individuals to find out some effective coping strategies for dealing these issues. Amo na nga ang iban, amo na nga helpful gid ni sa individuals nga naga-face sang fears nila kung paano nila i-conquer kung mabalaan sang iban nga tawo ang ilang nga body image concerns and eating problems. The second one is the create a family sculpture. This activity is engaging and very interesting since it helps individuals explore their emotions using clay, some fabric, and other decorative materials. This activity also helps in exploring family dynamics, emotional dynamics, and roles of individuals in their families. In their families. And the third one is the color in a design. A morning activity is good for practice relaxation. The individuals can draw and paint randomly that comes into their mind, which can be a very effective tool for relaxing their minds. The next one is the gratitude jar activity. It is a very interesting activity that gives various opportunities for individuals to practice gratitude. So bale may ara na nga empty jar and paper strips, and dira sa paper strips isulat mo ang good things nga natabo simo to remind you that you have plenty of reasons to be thankful for. And the last one is the mask project for art therapy. For this activity, an individual has to take an art therapy mask and some colors, paints, or other art tools. Using old magazines, ang individual is ma-create or ma-make siya sang collage, and on the one side of the mask, dira ang individual ma-think how other people think of his or her. On the back side naman sang mask, dira man siya ma-reflect sang iya nga true self. So this activity gives an opportunity for individuals to reflect themselves and express themselves truly. So next slide, please. So there are multiple approaches to art therapy. The first approach is the psychodynamic approach. In this approach, you believe that images and art making could make or could help people kuno, which led to analytic approach to art therapy and techniques like amplification and active imagination, which is nagabulig sa tao ma-understand ang images made sa therapy nga na made or ang products ng therapy. Object relations naman give us a way to think about sa aton clients kung paano sila mag-respond sa art therapy and how their early attachments and current relationship problems nag-show up. Although most art therapists today, wala na sila gayusang strict psychoanalytic, and object relations, in some approach naman, ginagamit ini nga approach or sa other nga treatment. The next slide, please. So the next approach is the humanistic approach. In this approach naman, ang main idea diri is that may ara sila ang humanistic approaches, may ara sila things in common. They respect the person's role in the therapeutic process. Gina-respect nilang individual, kung sino man ang individual nga na, or kung ano siya nga klase ka individual, kung ano iya personalities and background. And then, they believe that all art is a way to find meaning kuno sa aton life or sa aton nga existence. And These humanistic approaches, gapati sila nga ang art, makakita kita sa aton nga creative exploration. Like, we can express truly ourselves and those unexpressed emotions naton through art therapy. Slide, please. So the next approach to art therapy is the behavioral cognitive approaches. Using cognitive behavioral therapy and image making help people change or get rid sa ilang negative thoughts and self-talk by combining linguistic and imaging techniques. So, traditionally, di ba gagamit ang cognitive behavioral therapy ang verbal methods to help people change. Ang image making, go-work siya well with cognitive behavioral approaches nga nagahatag sang chance sa therapist to use visual communication to their patients. Ang paggamit sang images in treatment, nag-allow ni siya sa client and the therapist to work together para makakome up with creative visual strategies for change. Imagery-based homework and hands-on strategies are some of the ways nga ginaobra sa therapy para makahelp sa client even outside na siya sa office or clinic. So basically, a cognitive behavioral approach to art therapy is a good way to rethink bad behavior nga nagabulig siya add sang unique twist to cognitive techniques that maka-restructure sang bad habits and make people feel better about themselves. Next slide, please. So the next approach to art therapy is the developmental and adaptive approaches. Art has a built-in part daw that helps people learn about the world around them. This method is very popular sa therapists who work with people with developmental delays, cognitive and visual or auditory impairments, and those people with physical disabilities. Developmental approaches can be used as a foundation for all art therapy approaches with both children and adults. This approach gives therapists not only a way to measure development, but also nagaset man siya sang guidelines for setting treatment goals based on the rich foundation of art development. Next slide, please. So the last approach is the family systems approach. So this approach allows the individual or families ng individual to see the presenting problems and take advantage of visual symbols for problem solving, personal change, insight, and understanding the family dynamics, which brought them to treatment. Once makita ang visual symbols sa art ng client, there is a high chance na dito makita ang iya nga unexpressed problems, and through that, makahatag goals and insights ng each member of the family para sa ikaayos ng ila family member nga naga-seek or ask for treatment. Okay, so next is art as therapy and art in therapy. So art therapy has developed two parallel strands. So art as therapy and art psychotherapy. Oh, so ano ang differences nila? So the art as therapy involves a belief nga ang art making is may ara healing power. Kumbaga, ang idea is that process of art making is therapeutic. Art making is seen as an opportunity to express ang aton self imaginatively, authentically, and spontaneously. It is also an experience nga over time makalid yun to personal fulfillment, emotional reparation, and transformation. Kumbaga, art making kuno holds the creative process can be a health enhancing and growth producing experience. The second definition naman sa art therapy is based sa idea na art is a means of symbolic communication. Next slide, Dance, please. The second definition is about sa art therapy nga based daw sa idea nga art is a means of symbolic communication. Amo na ginatawag siyang art psychotherapy kay gina-emphasize siya ang products such as drawings, paintings, and other expressions or other art expressions nga gina-consider na helpful gids in communicating issues, emotions, and conflicts. Psychotherapy is essential to this approach, and the art image or ang product becomes significant in enhancing verbal exchange between the person and the therapist in achieving insight. With therapeutic guidance and support, art can facilitate new understanding and insights. It can also help man resolve conflicts, problems, and formulate new perceptions that in turn lead to positive changes, growth, and healing. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So, what are the advantages of art therapy or art psychology? So, art can be used as a means of nonverbal communication. Di ba may ara kita mga unexpressed feelings, emotions, problems, or circumstances? Or hindi pa, for example, ang tao, hindi pala hambal and maybe because amugid na siya or because of trauma. Art making is the best way gid para ma-express na ang aton yung authentic self, para ma-express na ang aton mga unexpressed emotions, and para ma-relax ang aton nga mind. Moreover, art can be used as a means of self-expression and self-exploration. So, di ba sometimes nabudlayan kita mag-express ang aton more precise feelings through words. We can use art to express kung ano kita nga klase ka tawo or base makita ta pa ang aton self dira sa art na amo na gali nga may talent gali kita sa art. So furthermore, in art therapy, makita mo ang process or ang progress ng individuals through his or her art. 'Di ba may ara na sila mga pictures or artworks nga finished product sa for example sa iyong mga client, pwede gid na balik-balikan para makita mo ang iya development sa iya self if may pagbag-o ba kag kung pwede mo gid na ma-note ang those development para mabalaan mo as a therapist kung ano nga area mo pa siya dapat fokusan. So, next slide, please. So, next slide pagid. So, as a summary na lang for the criticism for the art psychology, art is not considered as science and art psychology is considered as subjective rather than objective. Di ba most sang artworks or art products sang artist naga-embody sang ila emotions, perceptions, and experiences sa world and may lain-lain sila nga goals. Amo na ang kinalain sang art sa science is because ang scientist naga-propose sang result for a problem. Pero ang sa artist ya, gusto niya maghatag sang multiple interpretation sa isa ka object or isa ka product. And ang aesthetic experience nga na sa art is highly criticized man kay 'di ba because it cannot be determined scientifically kay kada isa sa aton may lain-lain kita nga perspective. Amo na nga nagiging ano siya subjective and depende sa tawo if manamian siya sang art or lain man iya preference sa iban nga tawo. Okay, next slide. Next slide pagid. Okay, thank you.
So from this moment, we will discuss about the current trends and practices of art psychology, and psychotherapy in the Philippines. So first we have the Magus Creative Space Runs Thrive. Magus Creative Space is organization turns to play and the arts help people heal and care for the mental health. It was founded by Dr. Gina Alfonso in 2013. In Latin, Magus means more. This is what fuels Alfonso and her team to do their work with more love. It is also stands for make art that gives, inspires, and shapes the world. Ang organization is nag-offer sang mga preventive and rehabilitative services to prevent mental health concerns. These preventive services include psychosocial expressive art, support groups, open art studios, and art retreats, while ang ila rehabilitative services nag-offer man sila sang expressive arts therapy, psychotherapy, and counseling. Additionally, Magis Creative Spaces offers creative therapy and conv- con- and movement therapy. Additionally, Magis Creative Spaces also offers creative therapies and dance or movement therapies. Yes, man siya ang creative art therapist. So creative art therapies are forms of psychotherapy where multiple art modalities and expressive art-based approaches are at the center of the healing process. This based on the premise that learning by making, with the help of the trained clinician can help individuals reconnect with their inherent ability to self-heal and shape their own lives within a therapeutic relationship or one-on-one or in groups. The arts are integrated into this therapeutic relationship that involves verbal and nonverbal communication. Next, we have the dance movement therapy. So, ang DMT involves the integration of movement as a medium of for nonverbal communication and expression during psychotherapy sessions. In therapy, dance and movement are used as scientifically based, somatic, body centered, non intrusive approaches that engage individuals in the process of healing, facilitating the discovery or reconnection with one embodied himself. Self. Next is use of expressive art in traumatic experiences in Baguio, Yolanda. Expressive art is a method widely used in the field of psychotherapy. Ginagamit na siya ang expressive art ang naging tool to help the survivors understand their own experiences. Additionally, art activities provide ways by which survivors may construct, deconstruct, or may reconstruct man sang ila narratives and tell their stories. Next, we have sa DOH uses art therapy for earthquake affected kids by the So, sa 2019, always talang mabatian na may earthquake, especially sa Mindanao na part. So, ang naginhimo sang mga mental health expert, nag-organize sila sang art sessions and evacuation camps to help those children cope with trauma caused by tremblers. They provided children with clay and other materials that they could use to express their feelings and para malingaw sila and hindi nila madumduman ang mga traumatic experiences. So aside from those nga na mentioned, other current trends of art in the Philippines. So art in fighting against bullying, discrimination, racism, and corruption in the country and contemporary art practices in the Philippines have found ways to support the campaign for environmental sustainability. Aside from the mention, uso man subong ang pag-apply sa art sa campaigns, for example, as sa anti-bullying campaign, discrimination, and sa corruption in the country kay di ba mas naging impactful and effective ang campaign if gina-applyan sang art compare bala sa mga tarpaulin or billboards na puro text mas makatch mo ang attention sang tao if may makita silang bag-o na nga it is pleasurable sa mata nila. And also, ang one of the useful nga trend subong is ang paggamit sa mga colorful pots using plastic bottles na substitute sa ginabakal na pots. Makatipid, which is makatipid na ang tao and nakasupport pa kita sa campaign for environmental sustainability. So, that's all. Thank you.
So, ang akod lang, ma'am, is that ang art dali, hindi lang siya for self-expression or for self-exploration. It is also a way or a tool for us bala nga makakonect or maka-create sang connections with other people. Tapos, art is everywhere. Kung kabalo bala kita mag-appreciate sang art, mas ma-appreciate na pagid ang aton self. Kay di ba we are God's masterpiece gani, bisan ang shape sang aton kuko, aton nga skin color, or ano man kung ano man di ka wavy, ka straight ang aton hair, or kung ano man da ang tanan nga ara sa aton, art ina nga kinahanglan ta i-appreciate ta pagid para mas i-love kag i-value ta pagid ang aton nga self.
So, for me, siguro, is ang art is something is sentimental siya kay which is ma-preserve sa compare sa yes, nga ang art is beauty like for example be like mabugtaw ka sa aga and oo ang art dan makita mo siya everywhere and like amo ni for example mabugtaw ka sa aga and makita mo ang morning siya is and ara ang may mga fog and the breeze is cold something mahambal mo siya nga beauty siya and aesthetic siya kung i-feel pero kung and that is art. And compare sa other art, like sa painting, ang art nga gina-paint is, ano siya, ang last long. Like, madugay siya, hindi siya madula. Like, gina-preserve siya. Compare sa morning art is, which is, pagka next day, madula na siya. So, ang art is something nga, like, daw, gahatag sa aton sa importance nga importante siya and we must to natagan siya importance. So, amo na siya guro ma'am.
Parang, good morning guys. Ang mga gali is ang sa music bila. Music is not just music itself. To gani hambal ko before sa nga report. If you dig deeper, you will see the beauty sa isa ka music, knowing most sang mga artists, they are expressing themselves by writing their experiences and ginahimo nila as music, especially si Taylor Swift, no. Ang nanamian ko lang gid ang kanta nga bago subong ni Taylor Swift, ang All Too Well. Like if you'll go deeper or if idig mo deeper ang lyrics, dira mo maintindihan nga amo ni gali ang natabo kay Taylor Swift, amo ning naagyan niya and all. So amo man kag same thing man the way sila magamit music sa mga patients, hindi lang gali siling nga ang music is music lang. Music is very useful if you know how to use it. So sa music therapy depende man na kay um you have to choose gid sa music nga appropriate man nga ihatag nyo sa pasyente. So kamo na ang music hindi lang sila nga pang boost lang sa mood niyo, pang gamit lang sa Zumba and all. Music is everything gid nga pwede ta magamit in so many ways nga amo na dapat kabalo ka lang magamit kung diin mo siya gamitan. Thank you.
Yes, miss. Pwede na ako ka-share, miss. Yes, miss. Visible na, guys. Ay, wait. Ari, ma'am, okay na. Okay. Sige, miss. So, good morning, everyone. We are the Group 9, and with me is Miss Porras, Miss Padronia, Mr. Resano, and Mr. Robles. So, we are going to talk about psychology of dreams and imagination. So, before that, may energizer kami yanay, guys. So, it's Guess the Song, baby. And the mechanics, the first to comment mine will be catered first, and if the first miner won't guess the song, and then ang second miner will be given a chance to answer. So we have 5 songs for you to guess, and the 5 winners will receive something from Mr. Robles. So I'll give the floor to Miss Porras and Mr. Robles. Oy.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. So, Rich, ready, ready na. Do na kita gito ang ano, pero taniway nakita sang tanan. Rich,
Okay.
okay na?
Oo.
Okay.
Guess the first song. I-play ko siya for 10 seconds lang. Okay, ready? Okay. Um, Guess the song.
Guys, comment.
Oh, si Marinette? Net?
Pinagtagpo pero hindi tinadhana? Tadhana? Imay? Hindi pa, never mind.
Hi, sala, Net. Okay, si Miss Jana. Miss Jana. Si Aaron. Si Aaron. Yes, correct. Si Miss Aaron. Okay na. Imahe. Yes. Next. Next
Yes.
song.
World that we design. Every night I get back, you brightest colors fill my head. A million
Danny. Danny.
A Million Dreams, The Greatest Showman.
Yes.
Yes.
Next is. Yes, correct. Si Miss Danny ang second winner. Okay, let's proceed to our next song.
Area pause lang eh.
strawberry eyes. dream has been forward
Okay.
to getting tired. Yes, I
Next,
fall.
Gaston.
Deja vu.
Wow! Balaan-balaan gid ni Marinette. Siguro relate tayo. Relate na?
Secret.
Okay.
The next
Next
song.
song.
Going out tonight changes into something red. Her mother doesn't like the
Okay,
kind straight
si
everything she
JF.
Night changes.
Wow, grabe. Iwan di. Ganyan ko rin si JF, hi. Correct.
And lastly,
This is gonna take me down. It's so tall and it's almost here. It's so good, but it doesn't sound right. I can see the end as it begins, but one condition is stay up when I'm with me. Stay.
okay, guess the song.
Shara.
Hi.
Wildest dreams.
Yes, correct. So, ang tanan nga nagdaog, contact nyo lang si Mr. Robles, gali. So, let's talk about now, guys, Salmon report about psychology of dreams and imagination. So, first we have psychology of dreams. So, the cognitive state of dreaming has been investigated the most. So, there are several theories about what dreams imply. Some of the more well-known theories include the theory of psychoanalysis, that dreams are thought to symbolize unconscious desires, wish fulfillment, and inner conflicts in this view. So, a dream can be explained as a successions or emotions ang images or ideas nga gaka-occur lang involuntarily sa in a person's mind during certain stages of sleep. So later on, i-discuss ni sa ang what are the stages of sleep. So it is not really understood what the purpose and content of dreams are, but they have certainly been the subject content, but they have certainly been the subject of religious and philosophical interest and a topic of scientific speculation throughout recorded history. So next. So I'm gonna name meaning sang dreams. So what are dreams? Dreams are stories and images created by our minds while we sleep. So they might be really vibrant and they have the ability to make you happy, sad, or afraid. So dreams can occur at any point during the night. However, during REM or what we call the rapid eye movement sleep, when your brain is most active, that you have the most vivid dreams. So we have a scientific study of dreams that is known as oneirology. So the study of oneirology can be distinguished from dream interpretation in that the aim is to quantitatively study the process of dreams instead of analyzing the meaning behind them. So, when do dreams occur? So, nahambal ko ni Kangina that dreams can occur at any point during the night, during the REM sleep, when where your brain is most active and you have the most vivid dreams. So, according to some specialists, we dream for 4 to 6 times per night, and a lucid dream occurs when you are aware that you are dreaming. So, the activation synthesis suggests that dreams are caused brain brainstem activation during the REM sleep and the stimulation of the limbic system or our emotional motor system. So, what is dreaming? Dreaming is like overnight therapy. Dreaming has the potential to help people de-escalate emotional reactivity, probably because the emotional content of dreams is paired with a decrease in brain noradrenaline. So, with this, dreams may play a role in memory incorporation and influence our long-term moods, physiology, and creativity. Dugang ko lang gali guys, dreaming or dreams don't actually mean anything sa iban nga studies while ga research ko. Pero to Freud, dreams are imagery of a wish or impulse from childhood that has been repressed. So this is why nga si Freud man nag-study siya about nga studied dreams to understand the unconscious mind.
Okay, so let's go now to the sleep cycle. Okay, so sleep isn't always consistent. Instead, your entire sleep is made up of numerous rounds of the sleep cycle, which is made up of four separate stages and over the course of the night. And the person passes through 4 to 6 sleep cycles in a typical night. Although not all sleep cycles have the same length and they usually last around 90 minutes. So ideally, you need 4 to 6 cycles of sleep every 24 hours to feel fresh and rested. So may mga questions like how long does each sleep cycle last? So in a typical night, a person goes through 4 to 6 sleep cycles because not all sleep cycles are the same ang ilang kalawigon or ang length, but on average, they last about na siya 90 minutes. And also, may mga reasons man why humans wake up at 2 a.m. every night. So, some of us, disaton, maybe naka-experience na. And ang reasons this might happen include like nag-drink ka sang bisang caffeine or nag-alcohol ka late in the day, kag ang a poor sleep environment or may sleep disorder ka or another health condition. Kag also, may question man nga, is 9 hours of sleep too much? So, sindi sa ato, ang mga nag-sleep lang like 9 hours pababaw or meron man nga 7 to 9 hours. Okay, so the right amount of sleep proves that individual or some people may feel great on 7 hours and others may need a little longer. However, in most such studies or for most experts, over 9 hours is considered an excessive or long amount of sleep na siya for adults. Kay syempre lang nang sa mga adults na balak usually mga 5 to 7 hours lang or sa mga baby meron sa baby nga 8 to 9 hours or 9 hours pababaw pagid nga pagtulog nila kay syempre ang ginhamba like nang not all people have the same length sa pag sleep. Okay, next slide please. Okay, let's go now to the stage 1. Okay, so stage 1. The first stage is essentially the dozing off stage and it is usually last 1 to 5 minutes. Okay, so dire sa first stage, like may mga transition period kita between wakefulness and sleeps. And our body hasn't totally relaxed during the N1 sleep, yet body and brain functions begin to decelerate with brief movements or may mga twitches kita. So in this stage, there are slight changes in brain activity linked with falling asleep. So everything starts to slow down and including your eye movement and muscles activity. Your eyes stay closed and if you get woken from stage 1 sleep, you may feel nga as if you haven't sleep at all and you may remember pieces of images. And nagalast na siya about around 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, for the stage 2, the body reaches a more subdued state during the stage 2, which includes a decrease in temperature, relax muscles, and decrease breathing and heart rate. So at the same instant, brain waves change and eye movement comes to a halt, or the brain's activity lowers overall, but there are brief bursts of activity that assist the brain resist being jolted awake by external stimuli. Okay, so during the first sleep cycle or stage 2 can last anywhere from 10 to 25 minutes. So as the brain begins to relax and slow down, it lights up with ang tawag natin nga alpha waves nga. During this transition into deep sleep, you may experience strange and vivid sensations. Like ang mga common examples of this phenomenon include the sensation of falling or hearing someone nga naggatawag sa imong pangalan, or bisa bala nang namin imo tulog dayon gulpi ka makibot nga bimo nadagdag ka, or may nagtawag sa imo nga name. Okay, next slide please. Okay, for the stage 3, when someone is in stage 3, commonly known as sa deep sleep, and it is more difficult to rouse them, or budli-budlay na sila pakawon basta nasa stage 3, and causes more causes muscle tone, pulse, and respiratory rate to drop as the body relaxes even more. So dire sa stage 3, um amo na di ginamba ko nga, it is harder to wake someone up if they are in this phase. Kag ang dira na nag-start ang ilang muscle tone, pulse, kag ang breathing rate nila nag-decrease so as the body relaxes. And also, may mga identifiable pattern na of what are known as delta waves. Amo na siya. And nag-last sa about 20 to 40 minutes. Okay, for the stage 4, rapid eye movement or REM sleep, also known as a active sleep or paradoxical sleep. So the brain almost exclusively produces or delta waves ang may mga identifiable pattern that promote immune function and help us feel restored. And during deep sleep, the body repairs muscles and tissues and stimulates growth and boosts immune function. You won't experience any eye movement or muscle activity during these stages. Okay, so for the stage 4, um, in this stage, the brain activity increases to similar levels as when you're awake and causes vivid dreams. And also, ang brain naton temporarily paralyzes major muscles so that we cannot move while dreaming. Okay, for the next slide, please, then. Okay, so NREM sleep patterns. Sleep is composed of three different stages. So there, may three stages. Stage N1 occurs right after you fall asleep and is very short, or usually less than 10 minutes na siya, and it involves light sleep from which you can be awakened easily. Okay, for the stage 2 or N2, it lasts from about 30 to 60 minutes. And for the stage 3, ang manundusa ang deep and last about 20 to 40 minutes na. Okay, for the REM sleep or amo na siyang rapid eye movement, um, during this REM sleep, brain activity picks up nearing levels seen when you are awake. At the same time, the body experiences atonia, which is paralyzes of the muscles. With two exemptions, amo ni siya ang aton nga eyes and the muscles that control breathing. And also, ga-increase ni siya sa heart rate naton. Kag may mga movements such as naka-experience natin ng kicking or punching, siguro sa pag-dream na ni naton. And man kita nga arm flailing or jumping from bed, or in response to action, field, or violent dreams such as being chased or defending yourself from attack. Okay.
Uh, Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So there are six types of main types of dreams. This is normal dreams, daydreams, lucid dreams, false awakening dreams, nightmares, and prophetic dreams. Whether you remember your dreams or not, most people dream every night during REM sleep. Next slide, please. So the first one is normal dream. And normal dreams are common dreams about people and experiences that we sometimes forget. We typically dream about 4 to 6 times per night. Most dreams are predominantly visual, meaning that images are the forefront of dreams rather than other senses like smell or touch. While most people dream in color, some dreams are entirely black and white. Next one is daydreams. When This is when we escape from reality and visualize the past, present, and future throughout the day. Some research has shown that daydreaming about people you know predicts positive well-being, while daydreaming about people you aren't close with to can predict more loneliness or worse well-being. Next is lucid dreams. Lucid dreams occur when you are aware that you are dreaming while sleeping. You're aware that the events that are flashing across your mind aren't genuine. However, the dream is vivid and real. You could even be able to guide the action in your sleep as if you were directing a movie or ara ka sa isa ka game bala and you're in a third person perspective like though I don't know if nakalantaw ka mo sang legend I mean Avatar Legend of Aang like dumagkadto siya sa spiritual yung sa mo na siyang lucid dream. Next slide please. Okay, false awakening dreams. False awakening occurs when a person has a dream about waking up but is still sleeping. And it is uh, happening on a regular basis man. Next is nightmares. So amo ning pinaka-hate ta siguro nga mga dream ta. So again, this is our least favorite type of dream, and these are disturbing and scary dreams that can feel realistic. And it is also are frequently triggered by stress, anxiety, or as a side effect of a certain medication. If you encounter nightmares on a regular basis, you may have a sleeping issue or problem. Next is prophetic dreams. Prophetic dreams are thought to be dreams that have foretold a future event. If you dream of something happening and it occurs later, you may feel you have uh, you have had a prophetic dream. Next slide, please. So, dream hacks: how to have a more positive dreams. So, first one is you meditate before going to bed. Med- uh, Meditation calms the body, keeping it happy and stress-free before bed. So, obviously, need mo ngayon na do stress-free ka before ka magtulog. So, you may effect man siya sa imong dreams later on kung magtulog ka. So, next one is don't eat spicy foods before bed. Indigestion caused by spicy food can impact um, rapid eye movement sleep where dreams happen. And the next one, the obvious naman don't scare yourself. Avoid watching scary stuff before or reading scary stuff before bed so you can achieve deep and much peaceful sleep. Next one is stick to a sleeping schedule. By keeping a sleeping schedule, you'll be able to complete all stages of sleep each night. So obviously man diwat na need mo nga may proper ang imo nga sleeping schedule and the waking times para maka-dream ka mayo. Next slide, please. So, why do we dream? Some of the more prominent dream theories contend to the function of dreaming is to consolidate memories, process emotions, express our deepest desire. Again, according kay sa psychoanalytic theory, and gain practice confronting potential dangers. We will go on sa topic later on. Next slide, please. Dreams may reflect the unconscious. Yes, according to Sigmund Freud's thesis, it symbolizes unconscious wants, thoughts, wish fulfillment, and motivations. People are driven by repressed and unconscious longings, such as aggressive and sexual inclinations, according to Freud. Next is dreams process information. Um, the activation synthesis model of dreaming during rapid eye movement sleep, brain circuits are active, causing the amygdala and the hippocampus to produce an um, array of electrical impulses. As a result, while dreaming, a collection of random ideas, images, and memories appear. So, activation synthesis model of dreaming is the neurobiological explanation of dreaming. Next, please. Dreams aid in memory. The information processing theory, sleep allows us to consolidate and process all of the information and memories that we have collected during the previous day. Some dream experts suggest that dreaming is a byproduct or even an active part of this experience processing. Um, Next is dreams per creativity. Other belief regarding dreams is that they are meant to assist us in problem solving. The unrestrained unconscious mind is free to wander its boundless potential while unburdened by the often suffocating realities of the aware world, according to this creative theory of dreaming. Um, like sa previous topic na pag-ulang, again sa dreams per creativity, so makahelp din siya sa, for example, artist ka, then you have a problem of your next piece or artwork, then dreams can sometimes again per creativity, like makakita some artists dira nila kuha ang ideas sa dreams man nila mismo. That's why they can create unexplained phenomena, like though unexplained yung mga artworks, like kay Dahlia ang clock tingiyab lang nga melt, like do sometimes to ka dreamy siya lang tawon the screaming man mga muna. And dreaming in fact has been demonstrated to be an efficient facilitator of creative thought in studies. And dreams reflect your life. Dreams are a reflection of a person's real life with conscious experiences incorporated into them. Dreams appear as a patchwork of memory pieces rather than a direct replica of waking reality. Next slide, please. Um, Again, dreams reflect your life. According to the continuity hypothesis, memories may be intentionally fractured in our dreams as part of the process of absorbing new information and experiences into a long-term memory. Still, there are numerous unsolved concerns about why some components of memories appear in our dreams more or less prominently. And one of the things nga gusto ko itakal man diri sa dreams affect your life is obviously you all know some deja vu. So there is another French word man for seeing something in reality nga you felt like you've already dreamed about this about it. I mean, so that's deja rev. So deja rev, muna na ang simple explanation niya already dreamed. Like makakita ka sang scenery nga you thought nga you've already dreamed about it. So it sometimes nga ano man ang not that nga the theory gini, but um yeah, ang do basi nakuha la siya sa previous mga ano sa previous scenery mo man nga nakita, then it basically do deja vu lang gid siya. Okay, next slide please. Okay, dreams prepare and protect. So while dreaming, we hone our fight or flight instincts and build mental capability for handling threatening scenarios. Under the threat of threat simulation theory, our sleeping brains focus on the flight or flight mechanisms to prepare us for life-threatening or emotionally intense scenarios. So dream consciousness is essentially an ancient TST or threat simulation theory is essentially an ancient biological defense mechanisms. So that's how our ancestors probably, so some our ancestors probably survived. Some una is kay ano siya, biological defense and evolutionary selected for its capacity to repeatedly simulate threatening events. Threat simulation during dreaming rehearses the cognitive mechanisms required for efficient threat perception and threat avoidance, leading to increased probability of reproductive success during human evolution. Maybe why nga humans ta from like sa according to Freud, according to Darwin, from monkey, one of the things nga nag-help sa atin sa pag-evolve, quote unquote, sa pag-evolve is the threat simulation theory. And this includes scenarios like running away from a pursuer, falling over a cliff, and showing up somewhere naked, and going to the bathroom in public, and forgetting to study for a final exam. Like, siguro ang ano ko man ang na sa going to the bathroom in public. Maybe that's why nga uh, sang bata ta wala na taka as we got older wala na taka ka pee sa bed tabla eh maybe na hindi ta gusto bala makita sa public nga ga ga pee. That's why another effect of threat simulation theory. Next slide please. Dreams help process emotions. The emotional regulation dream theory says that function of dreams is to help us process and cope with our emotions or trauma in the safe spaces of our slumber. The amygdala, which is involved in processing emotions, and the hippocampus, ang limbic system, and which plays a vital role in condensing information and moving it from short-term to long-term memory storage, are actively during a vivid, intense dream. This illustrates a strong link between dreaming, memory storage, and emotional process. Next slide, please. So, other theories about why we dream. Dreams, according to one hypothesis, are the result of our brains attempting to interpret external stimuli, such as dogs bark, music, or a baby's scream while we are sleeping. Another idea explains dreams using a computer metaphor, claiming that dreams clean out mental junk, recharging the brain for the next day. Like ang sa phone niyo bala kung i-clean out niyo ang cache, kung kung galag na phone niyo. That's one of the ideas about na sa why we dream. And another one is according to reverse learning idea, we dream to forget. Dreaming is a form of pruning or picking out some connections sa brain ta, which have hundreds of synaptic connections between memories, too many to recall them all. Next slide, please. And so lucid dreaming. Lucid dreams are uncommon dreams in which the dreamer is aware that they are dreaming and has some control over the dream content. According to studies, almost half of adults recall experiencing at least one lucid dream in their lifetime, with just over 10% reporting having them twice or more every month. So, um, regularly, kung magbugtaw ta, kung maskin ano pa ka-interesting ang aton nga dream, malipatan ta na dayon like in another 20 minutes or 10 minutes. So though lucid dreaming, like though namin ni siya nga do ano man nga like do amo na gani like do gagwa ka sa body mo, like some experiences gani makita nila ang self nila nga galutaw bala nga gatulog kada do makita nila nga makalagaw lang sila anywhere tapos makita pa nila own body nila. Ang mga one of the benefits ng lucid dreaming. And we can do big sandbox siya nga pwede ka create sang imo nga kung anong gusto mo na i-dream, kung dream mo ba magpakasal sa crush mo, then maubra mo na dito using lucid dreaming. So then kung gusto mo mag sakay sang gusto-gusto mo nga salakyan, then maobra mo gid through lucid dreaming. And how to lucid dream, this is for your own ano man ang discussion man nga hindi nga do not much study has been conducted sa lucid dream. So many people covet lucid dreaming and seek to experience it more often. Lucid dreaming has been compared to virtual reality and hyper-realistic video games, giving lucid dreamers the ultimate self-directed dreamscape experience. And yeah, kamo lang go research kung paano mag-lucid dreams since nga do hindi siya, for me, hindi siya advisable mag-try sa lucid dreaming. Okay. And next slide, please. Stress dreams. We have a strong tendency to have stressful events in our dreams. Sad, terrible, and nightmarish are some of the adjectives used to describe stress dreams. Daily stress shows up in dreams. Research has shown that those who experience greater levels of worry in their waking lives and people diagnosed with post traumatic stress disorder report higher frequency of and intensity of nightmares. Mental health disorders may contribute to stress dreams. Those with mental health disorders such as anxiety, bipolar disorder, and depression tend to have more distressing dreams as well as more difficult sleeping in general. Anxiety is linked to stress dreams. Research indicates a strong connection between anxiety and stressful dream content. These dreams may be the brain's attempt to help us cope with and make sense of these stressful experiences. Next presenter, please.
Hello, good morning. Batian ko, ma'am. Myth about dreams. Dreams have a mind of their own. Many of us imagine dreams as a world formed by our brain. While we sleep, and we may describe them to others as they were a movie we just saw. Second, dreams don't mean much. That's why they often don't make sense. Dreams were thought to be message from the dead or foretelling the future by ancient civilization. Dreams, according to Sigmund Freud, are expression of suppressed tensions or urge, typically sexual. After all, is Freud. Third, people who sleep better or are more likely to remember their dreams. It has nothing to do with how well you slept when it comes to remembering your dreams. Dreams happen during the stage of sleep known as REM, or also known rapid eye movement, and you can only recall them if you wake up during the or shortly after REM sleep. MCH, melanin concentrating hormone. Producing cells are stimulated during REM sleep. According to research, these MCH cells aid in sleep regulation and suppress the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory storage in the brain. Next slide, please. Next slide. Ah, thank you. People who stay up late are less likely to dream. People who stay up late are more likely to have nightmares than those who are go to bed early, according to a 2011 study published in the journal Sleep and Biological Rhythm. A total of 264 university students were asked to rate how frequently they had nightmares. On a scale of 0 to 4, the results showed that night owls scored a 2.1 on average, compared to a 1 point for early birds. Second, only children have night terrors, while night terrors or sleep terrors are more common in children aged 4 to 12. They do occur in about 3% of adults, considered a type of disorder or arousal. Night terrors occurs during deep non-REM sleep and cause the sleeper to be abruptly aroused from sleep, feeling terrified, and often crying or screaming. Next presenter, please.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I'll be the one to talk about facts about dreams. Next slide, please. So, base may nagadamgo na da sa inyo. Okay, first is the deeper the sleep, the more vivid the dreams. So, dreaming occurs throughout the sleep cycle. people are most likely to have vivid dreams during the rapid eye movement period because humans spend around a quarter of their sleep duration in REM sleep. So, dira na ton makita ang vivid dreams sa time nga sa duration sang REM naton. Next is, next slide please. Dreams serves as problem solvers. So, if you're having trouble with a school or work assignment, consider sleeping on it. Pero hindi man na bala nga tulugan mo na lang gid nga hindi mo na siya pag-obrahon. A research in which 99 people were challenged to navigate a three-dimensional maze was included in a Time article about the meaning of dreams. Some of the participants were urged to slumber during a scheduled 90-minute break, while others remained up. The nappers who dreamed about the maze performed better than their non-napping peers when they awoke. So, ara pagit sa aton nga students who are studying for an exam seems to have a greater understanding of the content after sleeping. Those who experience dreams regarding the subject they've been studying are much more well known. So, ari may wait sa. Um amo di bala ang hambal nga with any memory, the more you recall it, the stronger the memory tries. So, however, sleep is also thought to be vital, more memory. A good sleep seems to help our brains consolidate what we've learned sa aton lesson, and learning anything when you're not well rested is tricky. That's why mas mayo sa aton nga mga estudyante nga do pahuwayan danay tagaan sang do tulugan anay before magtuon kay para ma-refresh aton mind. Next is dream interpretation isn't always complex. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so dream interpretation isn't always complex. There are countless resources to help dream enthusiasts interpret their wildest dreams. A thought-provoking article by the Huffington Post highlights 14 common dreams and what they likely mean. The vast majority of the interpretations are surprisingly simple. For instance, you have if you dream of being chased, something you're avoiding in your waking hours may need to be addressed. For example, sa damgo mo ginalagas kasang ido. So pagbugtaw mo, ang gina-avoid mo nga utang nga daw mga 3 years na why mo na baydan, dapat i-address mo na. Next is nightmares have many causes. You know how unsettling and pleasant dreams may be if you've ever had a vivid nightmares. Ara blang may mga aswang ka makita or ganilab na ay sa imo nga damgo or something nga may patsanay or what. Illness as well as emotional concerns, stress, conflict, or terror, as well as medication or narcotics can cause disturbing dreams according to WebMD. So consider visiting a healthcare professional if you have frequent nightmares and are unable to trace them to a specific reason. So nightmares can disrupt your sleep, resulting in long-term issues. Syempre, kay 'di ba kung may nightmares ka, 'di ba gakabugtawan kagid gakabugtawan kagid. Tapos, syempre, hindi mo na makumpleto, imo tulog. Tapos daw wala ka na gana magtulog tungod kay nahadlok ka na nga base madamguhan mo niwat ang amo na ang klase ka nightmare. That could result to long-term health issues, kid. Next is forgetting dreams is perfectly normal. So most of us gid niya nagaka-experience sang malimta naton nga pagbugtaw naton aton nga damgo. Di naman siguro ako, almost tanan kita. So, many individuals never remember their dreams. Everyone dreams, however, even those folks who never recall dreaming. According to life science, while dreams are likely to be transferred to our long-term memory bank, the hippocampus, which converts short-term memory to long-term memory, may be fast asleep. The hippocampus is one of the last section of the brain to fall asleep. Therefore, it may also be one of the last to awake man, leaving our dreams almost lost in space. According to the report. The neurotransmitters in the brain could also be responsible for our incapacity to remember our dreams. Next is Ari, ang tips to recall your dreams. So first is wake up naturally. Dapat ano siya, dapat hindi ka mabugtawan ni siya sang tungod kay nag-alarm ka. Dapat do kusa gid bala nga nabugtaw imo mata. Do wala may okay lang ma'am, amo naman lang ni siya ma'am ang last. Tila naman lang kasi okay lang lakas. Ma'am,